Mark here, and welcome to my workshop. So I'm in the workshop here with my laser engraver, the xTool M1. I was contacted by one of my cousins who was cruising along on Etsy, checking out some different things, some ideas for Christmas. And she sent me a link showing me some, I guess they're called Advent calendar coins. Never really seen them before, but they're kind of neat. And she asked if I could make them. So this is actually what it looks like right here. This is just an example, and it says, of course, make s'mores. So I was looking around, getting different ideas, different sayings, and came up with a bunch of sayings. Make s'mores is one, go sledding, build a snowman, do Christmas caroling. There's a whole raft of different sayings, and my understanding is the idea behind it is you have some kind of bag, maybe a burlap bag or some kind of bag, and you put these coins in it. And on December 1st, you reach in, and as a family, you pull out the first one, and maybe it is make s'mores. So then you go and you do that activity. Of course, December 2nd, you pick the next coin, and so on until you reach December 24th. I suppose you could do one on December 25th as well. The interesting thing was a lot of the kits only had like 20 coins. So I thought, okay, well, I'll throw a few different ones in there. So I made a 27 coin package. So maybe if there's some that don't work out for you, maybe you live in Florida and you can't go out and build a snowman, then maybe you toss that one. Anyway, I came up with the idea. I designed a whole bunch of these, and they're pretty easy to make. I use Photoshop myself just because I'm used to it. You can use whatever program you want. You can actually use the creative tools from xTool. And we'll get into that as well. But what you want to look at is the type of material that you're working with. So in my case, it's basswood. Now, what you want to do is make one of these cutting guideline tools. This is actually a little bit thicker material. But what it does is it shows you the power setting. So this is an engrave or an etch, and this one here is a cut. So the creative content that xTool has, they actually have now, they've been doing so many updates, and they're putting all these tools in there. So you can actually select this from the menu and make your own. So then once you have that, this is one for some, I think it's 5 or 7 mil wood I picked up from Home Depot. This is one that I used for my tile. So you can do different tiles, and you can see down here is probably the best setting you want. You look for what's going to work best, and then you use that as a gauge. Anyway, let's get started. We'll head over to the program, and I'll show you how we set that up. What I've got here is I've loaded up my project. So you can see here is the individual coin. So there's my make my s'mores. Make Christmas ornaments. I've got a couple layers here. So you can see down here I've got coin and outline. So my coin layer is this layer here, and it's going to select all of it for me and show me what my settings are. So I'm running 100% power. I'm engraving it, and my speed is set to 130. So that gives me a nice clear indicator, and using your pattern on your test grid can show you where you want to be. So that's why it's good to have a catalog of those commonly used materials so you can refer back to. So the other layer here is my outline. So I can select that outline, and it has gone and selected all my outlines. I can adjust by moving to, I can select individual ones and move them to different layers. This just makes it nice and handy. Here you can see I have a cut. I have 100% power, and I have a speed of 3 millimeters per second, which cuts it out nicely. All right, so I haven't turned on the machine yet, so we'll go ahead to turn the machine on at the back. You can see here I do have a fire safety set. which will detect flames in the machine and actually put it out with CO2. So I did do a video on that as well, which you can check out and see how that works. All right, so we're just powering up. Something that I use quite often, a good idea, is these prisms. So they send you a bunch of these prisms along with the machine, and what that does is it rises them up. So you can raise your project up. So by putting these in here and then lining your board on top of that, brings it up off of your bottom plate. So what we'll do is we'll put that in initially. I try to get it as even as possible straight across by using the grid pattern they have on there. There is also a laser that shows up here. This tells the machine how high your material is off the work area. All right, so back at the computer, you can see here we now have an image overlay of our wood. And over here we've got laser flat, so it's a flat surface. I'm not doing any kind of mugs or anything. It is 3mm basswood. Its thickness is 3 millimeters. I'm using the triangular prisms. You want to make sure that you do put that in, yes or no. I am using it. If you're etching, maybe you're not, and it's right on the base. And it uses this information to calculate. So I will click on this auto measure here. It's going to think, and it is going to determine the height. And you want to do this first because what can happen is you can get some shifting in your image. So if you line it up right away, and then you do your auto measure. So it says it's 4.9 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make an adjustment to my material. Just going to slide it over a little bit. And this adjustment should do it. I just didn't have it put in on my edge side guidelines. So we should get an update here. It should pop up. Okay, there we go. So it's now refreshed, and now we can see we have everything lined up. So what we want to do is once we have it all lined up, you want to run a framing on it. And then it'll go on and it will show you where the outer markers of your project are. You're confirmed, then you can go ahead and start your project. So we're going to do that by hitting the framing button. All right, so now we have the machine reacts and says, okay, I'm ready, let's press the button. Come over, you look, and your button is flashing. So we want to hit this and confirm that our markers are within where we want them. All right, so everything looks good. We're all lined up. We can go ahead and click process. All right, so it has now sent that project to the laser engraver. And you can tell by the flashing light here down at the bottom. So we're all ready to go. We can hit that button. The machine's gonna go and it's gonna start the engraving cycle. All right, there it is. Just finished up. And we open that up, you can see how they're just loose, just nice. Should be able to give them a little tap, and they'll just pop right out. So there they are, all 27 coins. I can drink a little bit of cocoa on that day. So here's just a few of the things. Of course, you can modify to maybe some things that you do with your family. Listen to some Christmas music, wear something festive, take a holiday photo, yeah, no, that's it's completely adjustable and customizable. So this project took about an hour and 45 minutes to complete, just because of the content that was on there. It does take some time. The M1 has a 10-watt diode laser. Now they do have the S1, which came out after this unit, which has either a 20 or 40-watt laser head. So theoretically, doing the math, you could say about 20 to 25 minutes with the 40-watt laser. Now they also have another one that is called the P2, which is a CO2 laser. So diode lasers and CO2 lasers will cut slightly different. Diode laser has a smaller wavelength. Of course, the CO2 laser is a larger wavelength and can easily engrave on that. So if you are looking at doing a lot of engraving on glass, you might want to look at the P2 from xTool. So now that it's the first week of December, the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday deals are over, but don't worry because there's going to be some more sales coming up. I've put links down below to our affiliate program. You can help support our channel while doing a little shopping for you or that special someone. So until next video, have a wonderful one, and we'll see you then.